Every day, I wake up at about 5 a.m. to make these weather forecast videos, and the first thing I do is look at the United States precipitation map, and I click through and just get a basic idea of where the big weather stories are happening. When I clicked through this morning, I saw the system that's going to be moving through on Easter, and my jaw literally dropped when I saw it. Before I get into that, I will say I make these forecast videos every single morning, so if you're somebody who enjoys following the weather, or you end up enjoying this video, you can subscribe to my channel. Alright, so looking at this system that's going to be moving through on Easter, it's a big one. It's pretty crazy looking, and it really starts early Saturday. The first hint of it moves into Montana, where we start to get some snow here, and Montana is actually going to be picking up maybe 1 foot to 2 feet of snow with this one as it moves through on Saturday. And it just kind of looks like your average storm system until it gets into kind of the Wyoming, Nebraska area, where you start to see it intensify. You start seeing some higher snowfall rates, and then as we move into Easter, this is about 7 a.m. on Easter, might be when you're going to Easter Mass. I'm not sure if masses are still happening with the Corona lockdown, but it really starts to intensify. And then right around between Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, see these heavy snowfall rates building into Nebraska, Iowa, starting to get into Minnesota. And then the severe weather really start to just blow up over the southeast. And then it continues to organize throughout the day Sunday. And then right here, this is the map that just dropped my jaw. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh. This is an insane storm. It's going to be heavy snowfall building into the Midwest, and then just this massive strip of severe thunderstorms, heavy rainfall that is going to be going basically from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up into the Midwest. And then it doesn't just disappear, it actually gets stronger. Snowfall rates increase as we work into Monday morning, and then you just get this band of extreme thunderstorms that are again going to be going from basically the Gulf of Mexico into the Northeast. So this system is, I'm going to click back here. This I usually click through pretty fast in the morning. So this is what I saw when I clicked through. Just boom. Yeah, massive storm. It's going to be extremely interesting to follow this one and see what happens. And you can see it really well on this screen too, because there's two factors to this storm. It's going to be bringing down a ton of cold air, and it's also going to have some extreme winds with it. So this is moving into Saturday night. And then by about Easter morning, you can see this low right over really Arkansas and the southeast, and that cold air getting filled in behind it. And then as it moves up into the Midwest, it really organizes and intensifies. You see these isobars get a lot closer together. That's going to make these winds much more extreme. You can actually see that on this map. And then in the entire wake of this system, it's just going to be pulling down extremely cold air. You can see North Dakota, South Dakota in the 20s and even the teens in some places. So there's a few things. This system is going to be bringing some heavy snow, heavy rain to the southeast, and it's also going to be bringing down a wave of cold air that is basically going to fill into the entire eastern half of the country later in the week. So as we really dive into the Midwest, that's where the bulk of this storm is hitting right now. The Northeast has some heavy rain, the Southeast has some severe thunderstorms. That's another big story, but the Midwest right now is showing some great snow accumulations with this one. And it really starts to show up, like I said, Sunday morning at about 7 a.m. We get the first little hint of that snow and rain filling in. And then by 1 p.m. on Easter, that really heavy snowfall starts to build in. And this is when the system really starts to intensify. Isobars get a lot closer together. And you see, throughout the day Sunday, this is just going to be crippling the Midwest. This is going to be a massive storm. We're getting really heavy snowfall throughout Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then really heavy rain, probably some hail, some lightning, some thunder, moving through the warm sector of this system. So if you think about a low pressure system, and let's see, yeah, this map shows it pretty well. around a low you have counterclockwise circulation. So on the right side, it's actually pushing warm air in, and that's really going to drive some of the severe weather, a lot of the precipitation we're going to be seeing. But on the left side of the low, it's bringing cold air down. So that's why we have these heavy snowfall rates throughout Wisconsin and northern Michigan, really throughout Easter and then working into Monday morning. You can see those heavy snowfall rates really start showing up for Wisconsin and Michigan. Man, this is going to be a massive storm. It's going to be really fun to follow this one as the forecast models get even better. And then also see some of the footage that is going to come out of this system. I have a feeling there's going to be some crazy videos. And look at that bullseye of really heavy rainfall building into Indiana and Ohio. This is going to be a massive system. You see, it's not gone. Michigan's still getting snow all the way to Tuesday morning. So this system is going to be affecting the Midwest basically from 1 a.m. on Sunday to Tuesday morning. And it's really interesting to see that cold air get pulled down for the Midwest and the extreme winds that are going to be associated with this one. So right here, moving back into Sunday at about 1 in the morning, see the Midwest is pretty warm. We're in the mid 50s, maybe 60s in some places. You see Columbus, 62 degrees. And then watch as this low pressure system moves into the Midwest. You can see it's about 987 millibars. That's a low right there. But look at this cold air just fill in behind the low, and these winds really start kicking up. This storm is crazy. Look at that cold air that's going to be filling in. Like I said, Dakota is going to be in the 20s, maybe the teens in some places. And you can see that cold air really fills into Wisconsin and northern Michigan as well. And that's why we're getting some heavy snowfall rates there. So looking at the total snowfall for this one, this is when it first starts showing up. Sunday morning, when you're maybe going to Easter Mass, if Mass is still happening with the Corona lockdown, starts building in, and then you can see this strip of heavy snowfall, maybe 6 to 8 inches, basically going from Iowa through Wisconsin, all the way up into northern Michigan, and then that system intensifies. We get really heavy winds going over the lakes, get a little lake effect snow, and we start to see this massive bullseye of possibly 1 to 2 feet of snow building into northern Michigan. And yeah, basically massive storm. The other big story is in the southeast, where watch what happens in the southeast starting really Easter morning when you might be going to Mass, really just blows up, and then it actually intensifies and organizes. And the reason it intensifies is it's just going to be bringing in a bunch of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, really just fueling the precipitation over the southeast. So right here, Sunday morning at about 1 a.m., not much going on for the southeast. You might think it's going to be a nice Easter. Not so much. By about 7 a.m., we start to see those heavy rainfall rates build into Louisiana. And then by 1 p.m., you can see really heavy rainfall, probably some severe thunderstorms, hopefully not tornadoes. But that's about 0.4 inches per hour of rainfall, and that's going to be building in throughout Sunday afternoon, into Sunday evening, into Monday morning. You see that heavy rain has really started to build in through Mississippi, and then it intensifies, organizes. Alabama is just getting drenched Sunday night to Monday morning. That's some of the most intense rainfall I've seen in weeks. That is just a massive organized system of thunderstorms that's going to be moving through Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, really Sunday night throughout Monday afternoon, and then that's going to move off by about Monday at 1 p.m. Crazy severe weather for the southeast though. That's going to be something to watch. And like I said, it's just getting fueled by this moisture being pulled in from the Gulf of Mexico. You see the low up above Arkansas, and watch as these winds, they're just pushing warm, moist air right from the Gulf of Mexico into the southeast, just fueling the system as it moves through. And yeah, there's going to be some heavy rainfall with this one. Not only could we get some tornadoes and some hail and some lightning, we also could see some flooding, as you see 3 inches throughout Mississippi, over 2 inches in Alabama, 2 inches in northern Georgia, and then a couple spots in South Carolina that could see 2 inches of rain with this one too. So this is going to be a big, severe weather story for the southeast. And it's going to be an interesting one to follow. Lastly, let's look at what's going on in the northeast. And this is the area of the forecast that I think could change the most, because the system is affecting the northeast latest in the period, so the forecast models could be a little iffy at this point in time. But if everything holds true, we're going to start to see the system move through the northeast really between Sunday night and Monday morning. And you'll notice it on the very left side of the screen here. And, Pennsylvania is getting some severe thunderstorms, most likely at this point. This is about Monday at 7 a.m. And the low, instead of just moving through the northeast, takes a turn and goes straight into Canada. This is really the questionable part of this forecast, is if this low goes straight into Canada, then we're just going to be getting rain for the northeast. It's going to be some heavy rain. You see some 0.4 inches per hour building in through Massachusetts and Maine. But the thing to watch is if this low actually ends up moving through the northeast and then going off the coast maybe. I don't want to make a pun, but this could turn into a massive nor'easter if that low moves off the coast. Oh, that was just a bad joke. I'm sorry. If this low moves off the coast though, then that cold air that got pulled down to the Midwest, that cold air would be getting pulled into the northeast. As it turns out, when I click through here, you see it goes straight up into Canada. So like I said, counterclockwise circulation around a low. The northeast is in the warm sector. It's bringing in warm, moist air from the Gulf Stream. And you can see New York is in the 60s. Even Maine is in the high 40s, low 50s. So that's why the precipitation for the northeast at this point is just in the form of rain. Again, that's a little farther out in the forecast though, so we're going to have to keep our eye on this one to see if possibly that low can take a turn straight into the northeast, or if it does in fact go into Canada. So if you want to stay updated with this system, I'm going to be doing forecast videos every single morning. So if you want to see them, you could subscribe to my channel. And I guess 2 questions. Did you enjoy this video, and did you learn something new? If you answered yes to either of those, then I urge you to subscribe to my channel so that you can learn more in the future. Thanks for watching.